Did you know it's estimated that the wealthy avoid paying $10 billion a year in taxes by borrowing off of assets instead of selling them? Today, I'm going to just explain to you how this works and how anybody can be doing it, not just the wealthy. The concept is called buy, borrow, die, and most people have heard about it in certain asset classes, real estate, stocks. But now it's available with cryptocurrency, a higher, faster growing asset, more volatile, and a lot of people don't even know that's possible. So what I want to talk about today is how it is possible and how I'm helping people do it. So right now, if you bought Bitcoin or you bought Ethereum, there are places that will let you borrow off of it. They don't let you borrow off every single asset that you buy in crypto. You can't borrow off Dogecoin, you can't borrow off meme coins and stuff like that, but you can borrow off of Bitcoin and Ethereum. I recently helped an investor with millions of dollars of Bitcoin borrow off of his Bitcoin, his native Bitcoin. The process was he had to give up 4 Bitcoin to borrow $200,000 because when he gave that asset to the company, it was worth about $100,000. So they gave him a 50% LTV, meaning 50% of the value of what you give, they give you a loan. And this works the same way in real estate, stocks, but in the decentralized finance world of crypto, you could do this at a higher LTV, 75, 80, 85% LTVs. Meaning, if you have $1 million of crypto, you can borrow up to $80,000. $800,000, which is a lot higher than borrowing $500,000. Now, why would you want to do this? Because you want to avoid taxes the same way the rich people do. The way they do it now is through buying real estate, art, stocks, and borrowing. The reason Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos are so rich, it's not because they have billions of dollars sitting in their bank accounts. They have billions of dollars of stock that they borrow off of. They don't sell their stock. It's very rare they sell the stock. They mostly borrow off the stock. But again, you can't borrow off every single type of stock. You can only borrow off certain stocks. And these people have that stock and many shares of it. But now with crypto, Bitcoin and Ethereum specifically, you can buy crypto in a way that allows you to borrow up to 80%. And that is not by buying regular Bitcoin and regular Ethereum. You have to buy what's called wrapped Bitcoin and wrapped Ethereum, depending on where you want to borrow. There's different blockchains. I personally do it on the Polygon blockchain. There's Base blockchain, there's Arbitrum, there's different blockchains. And this style's complicated, but it's pretty easy. I created an app called Stack.ai. There's a free three-point guide to understand how we do it there. But it's pretty easy to do yourself. The only thing you have to worry about is being liquidated. If you over borrow and the price falls, you could get liquidated. And again, Stack protects against that, but I have gotten liquidated before. That's why I created Stack. It happened to me where they took about 30% of my assets to pay off 30% of my loans. And I did spend that money, so I didn't really feel like even that was a big deal because I borrowed knowing that I'd rather borrow than spend it, than sell it. And it didn't work out in that scenario, but it did make me come up with this idea of Stack. And the reason why I want most people to understand this is because we're heading into crazy times. Nobody really knows what's going to happen in the next few years when it comes to AI and all kind of things. Inflation around the world. The economy looks a little shaky right now, and nobody really knows what's going to happen. But if you can take as much of your assets as possible, put them into assets. Take as much of the revenue you make as possible and put them into assets that can grow in value over time, but you can easily borrow from to spend. That's the best place to have your money. Like I don't really think just making money and spending money is going to change anybody's life. It never has. It's always been about buying assets. And if you're gonna buy assets, you should be buying assets that you can borrow from easily. And right now, Bitcoin and Ethereum are the best assets that allow that because one, you can take them anywhere. You don't need to buy a property that just sits in one specific location and you may not like that location anymore, but you still have that property there. I just sold a property at a location. I love the location, but I just thought I could do better with the money. It took me 8 months to sell it, versus if I had Bitcoin and Ethereum and I wanted to sell it, I could have sold it. And because of where I had that property, it was in the Dominican Republic, it was not easy to get a loan. So I basically had to sell it if I wanted to take money out. And again, there were other values to having a property like that. It was a vacation property. I was able to vacation there. I was able to rent it as an Airbnb. But it was a lot of work, and I just didn't want to continue that work. So I sold it and moved it into crypto and been able to borrow off of it and grow that value over time. And I tell you this because I'm doing it. And now I see that businesses and individuals could be doing this as well. They just need to understand. And it's not that crazy. Like, at the end of the day, it's better to understand this than not, because money goes through your hands every month. And imagine if you think every dollar that has went through my hands for my whole life, imagine if I could have had that as an asset. I'm in my 40s. Millions of dollars have gone through my hands. If I would have known this was possible, I would have millions of dollars instead of whatever I have now, which I'm not poor, but I would have a lot more. And going forward, I really want to start putting this message out, because the truth is, it's never been easier. You can do this with $10. You can do this with $10 million. And that's also never been possible. So now, all you have to do is understand these assets and understand how to work with them, and you can be investing as much as you make. So if you're interested in learning more, again, there's in the description, we have the 3-point guide that shows you how to do it, free guide. And if you want to try, you can try it with any amount of money, $10, $10 million. And I hope you do try it, because I think this is a big time in our lives, and one of the biggest opportunities in history, because of AI and the global adoption of this technology. People are going to get really rich, and they're already getting really rich. And why can't you ride that wave?